All right, everybody. I hope you guys had a wonderful weekend here. We're gonna go ahead and get started here because I'm a little short on time today. No worries though. I'll still try to make it fun. We are continuing our sketches for Spooptober. So let's go ahead and hop on over there. I found us some Halloween themed metal to listen to here. So we've got our list here, of course, that we came up with. We have werewolves, succubus, red ghost, race, skeleton warrior, kaiju, and robot. General alien, not necessarily from the alien movies. Mothman, black eyed kids, zombies, and a slasher mass killer here. So show you what we got so far. So we did a werewolf sketch. We did the succubus sketch. We did the red ghost sketch. And we did the kaiju sketch here, which I actually played around with a little bit more off a screen. And then we also did the wraith here as well. Yeah, I saw that, Pensy. I'm sorry. I've been kind of busy, so I hadn't had a chance to comment on that yet. But it looked really good. I just hadn't gotten around to commenting yet. So I think what I want to do next is the Mothman, because the Mothman is like a moth and he's fluffy, and we'll make it so we can give him a hug too. So, what I'm thinking I'll do for this sketch is we're gonna do it like kind of like a black and white, and then like just like a red for like where his eyes are. I think will look really good. Will look really nice. Mothman. Occupation Mothman. Species Mothman. I actually have a friend that's like from the town that's like across the bridge from where the Mothman jams happen. So it's pretty interesting. I think he's supposed to look like a stolus, so he's supposed to look more like an owl. It's a lot of like this. Yeah, I need to do that too. I did see that. Like I said, I'm sorry. I just been like kind of trying to. I've really been trying to work on that commission, and I keep digging myself into a bigger and bigger hole with it. So I think I what I need to do is take like a different approach to it, with like the background and stuff. So because that's the main thing. Like I have like pretty much I have like the OC pretty much done. I just don't have the I don't have the background squared away here. All right, we can make him kind of look like an owl. I do kind of want to give him like the big fluffy thing though that like moths like kind of have like on their like chest here. So we're gonna do like a because that's just kind of cute. Kind of make it. Let's make his head more like kind of like an owl would be, where it's like the neck kind of comes into it. Let's make this nice and floofy here. And I'm already starting off way too big. So let's bring this in a bit. Alrighty. And I kind of want to give him like the little mothy like feelers. Oops. So we're just gonna start like really loose here, of course. And we can give him like maybe some kind of like owl like things going on here. And we'll like round him off here a little bit like this. And we'll give him like So it's he's a Mothman. He's got to have like a somewhat like, you know, kind of humanoid shape to him. So we'll at least do that for like the torso. Oh, we're working on we're working on a Mothman here. And I'm thinking it would be cool if like his like wings were like coming like in and over here, kind of like this. But we're gonna give him some arms too here. I just wanted to like, thought it'd be kind of cool if it was like more of like a kind of almost portrait kind of one, and also for the sake of time because I don't have as much time today. So do that, and then we'll have his little hip area here. Well, maybe he's got like a Dorito body here, and he's got a slutty waist. He's got some beefcake legs going on here. And then we'll just kind of get where his like arms might be here. And of course I'm going to add some like different stuff going on here too. But we're just like sketching out kind of like the silhouette here. Let's get a little like talony things maybe. All right. And so let's start going into like more of our grays here, so we can start like getting more of an idea of what's going on. Like I said, I like the idea of him just kind of having like this like little floofy jam here. Make him like fashionable. What are you doing, Vegeta? It's like freaking out in his little box that he has like underneath my computer here. Maybe we'll just have his body be like pretty floofy for the most part. But you know, let's give him some abs too, because I think that would be funny. I know sometimes like people like to do like kind of like smegsy versions of monsters, so gotta make him hot. He's gonna have some beefy arms here. Let's make him like super beefy. I like it. It's gonna be super funny already. Alright, so we have like a silhouette here, so maybe we can do some like actual sketching. Alright, we'll do this. Vegeta, what are you doing, man? Alright, let's kind of get like... You know what, this is fairly symmetrical right now, so what I'm going to do to make life a little easier, we're going to use our symmetry tool, and then if we want to do any sort of like asymmetry after the fact, then we can just we can turn off the symmetry tool. Alright, go in the middle. Why won't you select the symmetry line? Thank you. Jeez, being a pain in my ass. Alright, so let's kind of... Oops. Help if I put it on another layer here. There we go. I get kind of like the owl thing going on here. But we're going to give him big old ooh Mothman eyes. He's gonna be like super ooh. Vegeta, whatever you're doing in there, you are distracting me. He's got like the box like flipped over, so like whatever he's doing is like hitting my legs.
I think he's just looking around.
And let's put it so like Mothman doesn't sleep. So we're gonna try to make him a little spoopy on top of being hot, of course.
Just makes him hotter.
I can't hear you at all. By the way, I got the head.
Makes him hotter.
All right, so we got that. Let's give him where his little feeler jams are coming out here. Because I think those are little moth feelers are kind of cute, so. And I kind of want to make him like his little face area is a little like ambiguous, because that's usually how most of the people like describe it, where he's like mostly in shadow, so they can't really tell exactly what he looks like. And let's give him some more floof here. And we'll have it kind of come together here on the chest. Oh man, I really need to get some allergy medicine again. And then we'll have, excuse me, Jesus. I have like some feather shapes here, kinda. The big long feathers. Nice and big, because they're going to be like kind of closer to the viewer here. Yeah, let's get like the wing part kind of here coming up. He's got some got like a talon thing going on up here, up the top. Something like that. And we get kind of like where his beefy shoulders are. The Mothman's like, do you even lift, bro? It's so silly. Making him super beefy. I like it. Sexy moth abs. It's so stupid. He's just misunderstood, though. You know, he's just a nice guy. You know, trying to warn us of disasters before they happen. Maybe. And he's got to have like the Dorito V Oh no, he's hot. Maybe we should get him some like crotch feathers so he's not like obscene. There you go. We'll have it like I think he's got something that just kind of come around in this area to censor him. It needs to be bigger. We need to. He's a monster. There we go. That should cover at least something. And like where his thighs are. uh, that's so silly. I like it. Yeah, yeah, exactly. You gotta flex on the light bulbs until they give you what they want, right? Mothman doesn't understand personal space or consent because it's all up in these light bulbs, like personal space. All right, let's see. Let's merge these layers. Turn this off for a second here since we got our little sketch lines. Select like the outside parts here. Did I not get the inside of his arms, like his biceps? I didn't get like his arms at all, did I? Whoops. I stopped at the shoulders. Why did I do that? All right, hold on here. We'll just kind of have like an indicator where the arms are because they're going to be like kind of covered by the wings because these sketches aren't going to be like when we decide on which ones we're actually going to make into illustrations. These sketches aren't the final form, so the Mothman can be hotter. We have the technology. We can do it. Let's invert. Let's give him like a darker gray to start with here. Boop. And then we can do like some shading and stuff. Alright, let's see here. So he's usually pretty dark, so we can do like... Well, I didn't really want to start with a texture brush, but I kind of like the way this brush looks, so maybe we'll start with this. And then I can do like some like softer shading after the fact. I don't really know what to do with this mouth area, so I'm just going to kind of black it out. Let's get like the bigger areas first here, and then we'll make our brush smaller so we can do different like details. Yes. It's so dumb. Oh yeah, his shoulder's gonna be kind of covered a little bit there. That's okay. Like I said, in the final one, if he ends up being one of the ones we choose, I can have his glorious muscles Alright, let's do some more kind of refined here. Kind of don't really want to give him angry eyebrows. We want to keep him kind of like ooh here, so. Like, he's spoopy, but, you know, he might also just be, like, friendly. You don't know. Don't profile the Mothman just because he's a monster. He might just be, like, a super swell guy, you know? I'm actually going to kind of fill in that area there. Yeah, I do. Well, not really like ooh, but you know what I mean. Like, this is for all the monster people out there that really enjoy monsters, you know. You know, most people would run, and then you have other people that are like, I'm trying to date you, so. You want me to run away? What are you talking about? Why are we running? You're so handsome.
So tall.
You know, I gotta have something for the monster community here, you know. We're all inclusive. Also, you're talking to a guy who married the demon lord, so. So what we were saying is there's also me. Yeah. Hey, you're not alone, Pensy. It's okay. It's like a little support group. Hi, my name is Pensy. I like monsters. Hi, Pensy. I don't know. Monsters are cool. Like they're certainly more interesting to look at than most things, I guess. They're definitely for people with aspirations and imaginations. Like, ooh, what do these monster parts do? It's for scientific research, I must find out. Clearly, I must investigate. Alright, let's see here. I want to use some different brushes. It'll be fun to play with brushes with this. Give them some texture with like some line brushes here. That's what's cool about like spoopy art is you can use a whole lot of like texture that you normally wouldn't use, or at least I wouldn't use. I'm not normally like a texture brush kind of guy, but I've been experimenting with it lately. I mean, there's some people out there that want to be eaten too, so you know that works out, right? Circle life and all that. All right, we got that. Let's give him some. Well, we'll do this on a different layer. Some of the softer shading here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my usual build up I like to do with shading. All right, let's get some soft shading through here too. We'll make sure that his floof is nice and like velvety. And then we're gonna have some in here because we're kind of keeping his face kind of like ambiguous. Gonna leave some areas of light from where his glowy eyes are gonna cast some lighting here. We can use this to give it like some more of like a 3D form to things too. You know, because the abs are important. The abs and the Dorito torso are like super important, you know, for science. Let's try to have it like darker underneath his little floof area here. There'll probably be like some more shadowing here. And probably like under his little neck kind of area here. We'll cast a shadow. And then we'll do the outside of the feather kind of here. It'll almost be like a little vignette here to kind of like frame him. Like that. And let's kind of have it a little bit darker down here. And like the crotch area. And a little bit in between there. Alright, we got some softer shadows on them. Again, I'm going to build up my shadow layers. All right, let's do some. I think I'll do one. Well, you know, we're gonna keep this a sketch here, so we're not gonna go super crazy. I said normally I do 3 layers of shadow work, but we're gonna calm down a little bit, and we're gonna start doing some lighting here. So let's do some of the softer light here real quick. going to add some color to just the eyes here in a little bit. So we're going to have where just the eye area has a lot of like lighting around there, and then maybe there's like moonlight on the top here too, so we can have just like a little kind of like some nice and subtle across the top here, maybe over here as well, and across the wings on the top. Let's have like, actually let's have all the lighting just like in this area. I think would actually be pretty effective, you know. That'll give it more of kind of like a little bit more of the spoop, you know. Maybe on his just this top like feathers here too. Hell yeah, nice. Let's also do like a gradient behind him too, just so we get a little bit of variety in the background. So we'll do lighten, because the background should always be lighter. Why did you not work? Oh, because it wasn't the right color. Do that, and we're going to reduce the opacity on that because that's a little intense. Then we'll do multiply. Then we'll have that come out this way. Kind of like that a little bit. Let's actually reduce this even more. There we go, that's a little bit better. Alright, back to what we were doing here. So we got our, let's do some like more like sharper lighting here, so we can kind of just play around a little bit and have some like kind of rim light across the top here, and do some of this number here with this. And we'll have like some spots where it's like nice and like ooh on his face here. And we'll have some like lighter, and then it'll get a little more intense here as it gets closer. Let's make this a little bigger. A little more light around the eyes here. Across this like rim light spot. Now we can kind of blend some of this a little bit. Yeah, exactly. It's like one of those things where like if you don't love me at my, then you'll never like, you know, be with me at my, and it's like one of them is like if you don't love me when I'm like deadly or something, then you'll never love me when I'm like ooh. let's give him a little bit of definition for where his floof is. That, and then we're gonna kind of do this so we can blend it. And then we'll do some, just to show where the floof kind of is here. And let's blend it some. Blend this into it a bit. And then I kind of want to do like some really like a finer highlight across here. And then we can take this and we can kind of blur little parts of it. Oh yeah. Yeah, like the isn't there like some sort of like owl like organization or something in Batman as well?
Yeah.
Like Court of Owls or something like that. Just kind of want to emphasize some of the floofiness up here. I'm just having so much fun with the Mothman here. I gotta make sure I get to at least one more sketch for the stream since, we don't have as much time. Well, that's okay. We're having fun. That's what matters, right? Alright, let's just give the background some texture here. So we'll do that. And clip it to this, put it underneath, to brightness. Rasterize, take it down to like 20%. Then we'll do another one where we're gonna do some purling noise. Actually, it looks kind of big, big like that. So there we go. That gives it like some more texture. Let's bring this up some more, actually. Let's bring it to like 50. Ooh, that looks neat. I also kind of want to give him some purling noise, but we'll do it like much more fine. We'll do one. And then we'll take that down to like 50%. Actually, let's take it even down even farther. Let's take it down to 20. That way it's not too crazy. And since he's kind of silky here, let's kind of give him a little bit of a texture as well with that. So we're going to make this nice and big here. We're going to rasterize it. Brightness. And we'll make this like 30% or so. There we go. Now, oh yeah, I never finished this part here. So let's bring this down. Duplicate and glow dodge. And let's give it like a 30% blur. Duplicates and add glow. Like that. And let's give him, let's do a gradient map here. And let's see. Oh, I forgot to give him his eye color. I'll do that in a sec. I think this would be kind of neat. Let's do this as, how does pin light look? Pin light looks like that. Let's do, what does exclusion look like? That's kind of neat. Difference. Oh, that's crazy. Let's just do soft light. Soft light looks good. There we go. Oh, yeah, absolutely. You know, just let them know, of course, that it's like not a finished drawing, you know, that kind of thing. But, yeah, absolutely. Nothing wrong with that. Let's give him his red eyes real quick. If my mouse didn't shoot him off into outer space. Alright, so we'll start with the hard. Like that. Oh, nice. Hell yeah. Let's give him some like glow here. There are some spots here where it's a little bit of a harsher highlight just to really highlight this area. Smudge some of it out though, so it's not super sharp. That. Ooh, nice. Yeah, mine's not too far from now either, so mine and Havoc's. Let's do 30% and then duplicate. We'll do our glow dodge. And we're gonna blur that. Blur, duplicate again. Then we're gonna do our add glow. And I might turn this hard light up just a bit here. Kind of like that. Ooh, maybe I should do an overlay layer. That'll probably help with the red. Nope, not add glow. Stop. Overlay. There we go. We can kind of spread out the red a little bit more. Let's put like kind of like a little bit of like a purplish blue here on here too for like maybe like the moonlight across the top. Let's give him a little bit of variety in color here. Doesn't have to be anything crazy. Just where there's like a lot of like highlight here. And then we'll give some like darker purple underneath that. Hehehe. Alright, so we got that. And I kind of also want to give him another gradient map. And I always love using this like holographic one, because you can, when you use it with like different blending modes, it can bring out some of like the different shades and tones and whatnot that you wouldn't normally be able to see, like that, where you can see like more of like the detailing. But we're gonna bring it down on opacity. We're gonna bring it down like 50%. Nice. I'm glad you like it, Pensy. Actually, I kind of want to give the background a gradient too. Let's do that. Let's do kind of like one of these. Try this one. Then we'll do souffle. Yeah, that looks good. Hell yeah. Alright, the last thing I like to do, or at least the last thing I'm going to do with this one, I'm going to do a little bit of a tone adjustment here to see if we can play with some of the different values and whatnot on it. I'm going to zoom them out here. Let's make some of them a little bit darker. Let's bring his highlights up some more. Actually, I need to make it so I can kind of see from a distance here. That's probably good. Ooh, yeah, he's looking cool. I like it. Alright, so we'll do one last little finishing effect here, and then we'll move on to the next sketch. Color, and we'll give him some chromatic aberration here. And then we'll do lighten and Gaussian blur. And then we'll bring that blur down to like 30%. There we go. Hell yeah. Our beefcake Mothman here. Actually, I can do one more thing. I lied. I'm a liar. Just to be kind of cool here. Let's do something like... across the top here. Actually, might need to desaturate that more. And then I really want to emphasize this red some more here. I didn't really do what I wanted. That's okay. Let's delete that. Yeah, I didn't do what I wanted. That's okay. All right. Let me go. Oh, yeah, good call. Save. Let me get some water and sit up straight. How's it going, Nampa? Hope you're having a good day. Had a great weekend. Enjoying some Mothman with us. Yeah, I'm pretty tired too. Let's see. So let's put this all in a folder like we did with the other ones here. Let's turn off all this like symmetry tool so we can get a good look at it. There we go. Let me label this as Mothman. Mothman sketch. Yeah. Yeah, I think Mothman turned out pretty nice. He looks pretty cool here for a sketch, you know? Not bad at all, right? Alright, say one more time for prosperity. And let's see what else we can pull from our list here. Wait, why are there sketch lines still out? Oh! Oh. Whoops. Ow. The lines. Haha. Oops. Son of a bitch. Why? Why are you like this? Why are you doing this to me? Oh, because the layer's off. That's why. Haha. Ha 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 ha. Actually, don't I even need the lines? I don't even really need the lines. That's okay. We'll just put that in there for now. Alright, next up here. So I still haven't done the Skeleton Warrior. I haven't done, like, an Alien, the Black Eye Kids, zombies, or slasher slash masked killer. What do you guys think? I don't know, maybe... Well, maybe since we don't have a lot of time, let's do a zombie. Aha, you read my mind. We're on the same page here. Nice. Alright, what I am going to do for this, I think, is I'm going to use a reference and I'm going to zombify that reference. So I've got like a whole bunch of like really expressive like photos and whatnot I've been meaning to use here. So, well, I mean, I use them every now and then. So, ooh, this guy would be a good zombie. So I'll put that up there, and then what I'll do is I'll open the image on canvas. We're going to turn this guy into a zombie. Alright, so I'll take this. I'm going to do that. Lower the opacity here, and we're going to sketch over top of it so we have time. Man, I haven't listened to Rob Zombie in forever. Alright, let's use a kind of like textured pencil here. So we're just going to kind of sketch away here. We're going to make some of this a little, like he's got some skin that's like coming off his nose here maybe. And then we're going to kind of give it like a little bit of a texture here, like there's kind of like some muscle underneath. I don't actually, not super up on my anatomy there as far as what muscles are in those spots, but we're going to make his eye a bit bigger here. So I want to like stylize it as well. We'll figure out how we'll do something special to the eye to make it look more like zombified here. And we're going to give him course, some like bagginess under the eyes here. And let's kind of like, we'll just kind of shade a little bit here with my brush. Then maybe he's like missing this eye on this side, so we'll kind of have like the socket here, but maybe there's still an eyeball in it, so we'll do like that. And then we'll have like some of this like skin hanging off of his cheek here, like it's been peeled. Then we'll do kind of like just like some shading in here. A bit like some hatching. That, and erase that away. That, and then let's have like the mouth kind of like torn away a little bit here too, kind of like this, but we'll have like a little bit of his lip left over here. Actually, let's have it like kind of like really like it's been like ripped across here. And we'll kind of shade a little bit under here. And under here on this side of the face, we'll just make it darker. And then we'll have kind of like some of his teeth showing here where it's ripped. And like the gums kind of coming up like this. And then we'll put some lines like it's like maybe like some of the musculature under there. Ooh, let's like have it like ripped like across. Okay. So we can have like more of the teeth like exposed down here too. shading down here because it'll be kind of harder to see anyway. Give him like a more stylized chin here. Maybe his lips are pretty crusty here too. Make this side dark. Maybe like his jacket got a little jacked up here. Nice, welcome back. Then we can have like his jacket be like maybe like ripped here. That. Then we can kind of have like, let's see, it's like shoulder, it'll be kind of like here. So we can have kind of like his, trying to think of how this would be. Hold on. I gotta do this on another layer here so I can kind of visualize where the anatomy is. Alright, so his jaw was kind of like neck here. It'll come back, and then like the shoulder area be kind of like this, and then his back goes back like this. The arm be kind of like that. All right, cool. Just had to get my bearings there for a sec. Excuse me. I'm dying. I'm gonna be a zombie. Alright, just kind of bring like his arm maybe like here. Then we'll kind of like have some more skin kind of peeled away here around like his bicep. And then we'll do like some kind of lines for the striations in the muscles, kind of. Of course, there's going to be like shadow, so we'll kind of come across like here with a shadow. Most of this will be shadow, actually. Down here, I just kind of want to make his like sleeve like ripped. Yeah, let's get like, I need to turn this off now. So like where his code is. And we'll kind of like just put a line a little bit where the light is, and then we can kind of just like hatch in some of this. Kind of do like this number. Especially since this is just a sketch. Oh, yeah. I see what you're saying, Pensy. It's maybe. I know sometimes it's fun to give like zombies like some like stitching too, so let's kind of do that. Give him a little bit across like his nose just cause. Give a little bit of visual interest here. Zombies are definitely things I need to practice for obvious reasons for my my webtoon here. So, alrighty. And I think what I like about this reference here is that his hair is kind of like already stringy, kind of messy. So I can kind of just play with that. He's so cute, right? Let's kind of get like maybe his ears a little missing some chunks here. But it's gonna be kind of hard to see anyway in his hair. Alright, I think that looks pretty cool. Let's take away the reference. Hell yeah. Let's kind of. Maybe we can give it some. Well, I can do it with like coloring if I wanted to. Duplicate and multiply, and then we'll blur this a little bit. Always makes sketches look better, or just line work in general look better. Alright, so we got our line work here. So let's do. We're just gonna do some really quick like coloring on this. So let's do this. Select the outside silhouette here. Doesn't have to be perfect selection, but I do kind of want to leave some gaps at least for the hair. And then invert. And is there anything on this layer? I don't think there is. So we're going to use that. Make this a little lighter. Go underneath. And I'm kind of thinking, let's see. So let's give him all sorts of kind of like duller colors for the skin, of course. I'm going to start with my, I think my airbrush here. So I can get some like variation of like the skin color as like the base here. Do that, and actually we probably should have some like purple around in here. I think would be good. Across there. Let's get some darker tones here around where like say the blood is kind of like corrupted a little bit. Alright. Let's have like an actual skin base and then we'll merge it with this one here. So kind of want to give them like a bluish tinted skin. Something like that. And excuse me. Let's merge those together real quick. And let's do this. I'm going to get some of my textured brush here so we can do like some kind of just a little bit of like blemish kind of looking stuff going on here. And maybe some purple mixed into a little bit. Kind of give it some a little bit of a directional thing going on here too. I think would be cool. Just kind of, you know, when you're doing sketches, you could always play with like your brushes and stuff, which is like kind of fun. And do like different things, like put like this kind of like colored like hatching almost on it that has directional lines. I think it's gonna be, I think that's gonna look neat. I could be wrong. And let's also give some kind of stuff like that. Alright, so that's some texture. I want to add some more texture to the face with actual texture layering. So we're going to turn this off real quick. We're going to, of course, do our Perlin noise because I absolutely love Perlin noise now. Let's do like 2. And we're going to turn down this brightness to like 20. Like that. And then I also kind of like using these like watercolor texture too. Been really cool lately. Let's get one that's kind of like blobby. Maybe something like this. We're going to put it over the whole thing though, so it's kind of like unified here. Want to make sure that we also get So the light's more on, kind of like on this side here. So it might be cooler if we had it like this. And then rasterize, brightness, and we'll turn that down to like 30%. And I'm actually going to remove the bright part of it, so it's just like the kind of like dirty-ish looking part here. Alright, cool. So we got that. Let me actually duplicate this. I'm going to put this over this layer real quick and turn it to color. Alright. Let's do some multiply here. We got some shadows going on. Start with the darker shadows. Kind of thinking I'll use like a purplish color here for the shadowing. All right, we're gonna kind of have this side be like kind of dark over here, and of course there would be some under the eyes here. I'm kind of vaguely using the reference over here, but we're trying to make this like pretty unique here, so let's kind of get some shading for his hair. I need to put some color for his hair here in a sec, actually. Side here. That'll look good. Kind of make sure his head looks like it's rounded here. And like the socket areas. We're definitely gonna like lower the opacity when we do all this, so let's do that and kind of put some like carve out a little bit more like the light areas so we get a good amount of contrast. Actually, even this over here can be a little darker. A little bit there. Like that. And I kind of want to give him like a hair color here real quick before we start going further. I like to give my zombies kind of like a desaturated, like very kind of like different color to their hair. Oh, the sound went off for a minute there. I probably leaned away from the mic. That's probably why. Sorry about that. Alright, we're going to kind of blend this color a little bit here, just so like that. And then let's do, I'm gonna have like the eye parts kind of like light up here. Let's have a color for his jacket too, so it's not just gray. Let's give him kind of like a burgundy jacket, just for the sake of different colors here. All right, so let's take this down, build it back up. Linear burn. And then we can do another multiply layer here. And what we're using, I think we're using like this. And I can kind of do some like a little bit harder shadow kind of work here. Whoops, if I use the right brush. Well, that was the brush I was using. Huh, that's weird. Maybe a different brush. You know what, let's actually... No, I'm not going to do that. Changing my mind here all over the place. Sorry, guys. Oops. Gonna put it on multiply. Just going to kind of use this to kind of get some harder shadows going on here. This will be nice and big because it's dark on this side. You know, we're actually not going to worry about this arm. I think it'll be fine. We're just going to show that it's kind of like ripped down here, so we'll make it like real dark. Alright, let's get it kind of like in here. Oops, I forgot to give him his eyebrows too. I'm silly. Make his eyebrows dark too. That. almost like the ear shape going on in here. Do like a little bit of shadow for where his skin flaps are hanging off here. And a little bit along where his stitches are, so they have some depth to them. Thanks. Working on it. It's getting there, slowly but surely. We can kind of make these a little less blocky in some areas here. And we can do on this side where there's some, maybe there's, so you can kind of see that it's got a little bit of a cut into it. Let's kind of do this number in the hair with the line brush that I was using before. Oh yeah, I was going to use it on these too. So we get some direction here. I think it'll look cool with lines into it. Kind of like this. That'll look really neat. Bring down the opacity. Alrighty, let's do some light. And let's see, what is opposite of green? It's kind of like this purplish pink. So let's give it, let's do some like really cool, like dramatic light here. Oops, wrong brush. We're gonna use this color here. This side, a little bit on the face here, like that, and then we're going to use like some purple on this side. Like this, go back here, and kind of do some like across there, a little bit across here, and kind of highlight some of where the skin is coming off here, across here. Ooh, I should put a different color, like a rim light on this side. That'll make it look really cool. Yeah, this will bring out the colors on this side. I don't know. I mean, I like the way you draw like both of those things. So it's kind of like hard to really like suggest. do kind of want to use, I think, some of these lines here. Use this kind of like to get some texture back into the hair. I don't know. I mean, obviously, like, I mean, the thing is, I would just pick things that, you think are going to be the most fun to draw. Like I've been skipping around on this list, so it kind of just depends on what I'm like feeling at the time. Succubus or zombie? That is a conundrum. I'm I'm gonna say zombie. Also, because like I'm working on a zombie right now, so not a biased decision whatsoever. How close the time is it to your meeting, love?
It's at 3.
What's that?
It's at 3.
It's at 3. I thought I set alarm for like 2:45. What time is it?
2:40.
Okay.
It's just not 2:45 yet.
So I'll probably be wrapping up this stream here in just a sec, guys. Because I can't be streaming during Havoc's meeting. Which is okay. Nothing wrong with that. I feel like we were still pretty productive today. Alright, let me actually go ahead and do the wrap up here so we can finish it up so Havoc can do her meeting. Stick you guys in the lobby. I want to thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today while I did some more sketching. These have been like super, super fun. Getting lots of ideas, getting lots of things to, figure out what to draw for Spooktober. I'm really happy I'm actually like participating in it in this time. I will be back tomorrow with more of the same sketching at the same time. If you like the kind of content I do, consider following me to see when I go live. You could also consider subscribing. I am pushing for a partner here. I'm trying to get at least 10 subscribers to start. So that would be super awesome if you could help me out with that.